Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie, and we've got some more great Reddit stories for you today, so let's jump into the first one.
Am I the jerk for calling my nephew entitled for wanting to be paid for doing the lawn?
I feel like you're a little bit of a jerk here. I'm assuming your nephew is a teenager and mowing the lawn. And yeah, they want to be paid for that. It's part of their allowance if they're doing it. They deserve to be paid something for it. My parents always paid me when I mowed the lawn.
So my 37 female husband can't do the lawn because his leg is injured right now. So it's left to me. I'm not the type to say I'm not doing the lawn because I'm a woman. I'll shovel. I'll even take the trash out. But doing the lawn is probably the one chore that I absolutely despise doing, and I'll do anything just to avoid doing it.
That is fair. I also hate it, but that's because grass makes me itchy and I am heat intolerant. It's always hot when you're trying to mow the lawn, and I am dying. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I know. You make me do all the yard work, and I come back in, and my allergies are just going crazy. Neither of us are built to do yard work. I know for a fact that my nephew, 19 male, is good at doing the lawn. Earlier today, I asked him if he can possibly come over tomorrow and help me with the lawn. I even promised to have whatever he wants to eat prepared once he finishes, and ice cream, because I know it'll be hot. He said sure, but wanted to know if he would and how much would he get paid for this. I get that he's still only a teenager and is going to be immature, but to think you're entitled to money for helping a family member who already agreed to have food for you as a thank you for helping me out is ridiculous. He said that he'll do it, but he has to get paid for it. I'm already buying ice cream just for him, and I'm preparing him free food. To expect a paycheck on top of that is very entitled and selfish. Of course, I love my nephew, but he just sounds like your typical bratty and entitled teenager. Am I the jerk?
Yeah, you're the jerk. I'm sure if you asked him, he would rather have the money than the food. But you don't want that because the food is the cheaper option, and you seem like a penny pincher. But I also feel like your nephew is coming to do you a favor. Nephew is not, that close to family. It's close, but not, so close that I feel like you're entitled to their labor when you're going through a rough patch. So if he's going to do a favor for you, you better be paying him. Especially at that age, they always need cash.
Yeah, teenagers need cash for, dates and things, and nobody's hiring teenagers right now.
Yeah, our nephew couldn't get a job when he turned 16 because nobody was just hiring 16-year-olds. They said, come back when you're 18.
Yeah, because he was looking for a summer job, and all the college kids came back home and took all the summer jobs.
But in any case, I feel like OP is also probably more financially better off than her nephew, and she should pay him for his time when he comes over to help her.
It also instills, a proper sense of self-worth in the teenager. You should also be trying to, it's a community to raise a kid, and paying them for labor that they perform is a good thing for them to learn.
Yeah, it's a good incentive for them to participate in the community, and get them in the habit of doing that. But also, they should get paid for their labor like they're an adult, which actually he's 19. He is an adult. Pay him.
Because last summer we had our niece and nephew come over and help us with some landscaping because I needed more able bodies to do with the whole thing that we were working on. And we paid them and we fed them.
Yeah, we did both of those. I think he honestly deserves both of those because he's a 19-year-old. He doesn't want to waste his time, going around and cutting lawns for free. He's doing you a favor coming over. You should pay him for his time and then feed him something just as a thank you for taking the time to come and do it. And I know we overpaid our niece and nephew for when they came and helped us because we knew they were strapped for cash because they couldn't get a summer job. And we're like, well, we're able to throw a little extra cash their way. We'll just do it because we love them.
Yeah, we did. But I think we still paid them less than it would have cost to hire a handyman.
Oh, yeah. And they worked hard.
They did. They did a good job. So they deserved the money. Top comment, you're the jerk. No one owes you unpaid labor. And it sounds like instead of ice cream and food, you should use that money to pay your nephew. Because that's what he actually wants, which is what you should be focusing on, not what you think he should want, or what is adequate compensation. You're trying to take advantage of a kid. You should be embarrassed for yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, she feels like she's entitled to his free time and labor because they're family. But she's calling him entitled for wanting a little cash thrown his way for helping out. It seems very hypocritical.
It's just one of those family things where, I feel like in a good supportive family, nephew should offer to do it for free, and aunt should overrule him as the older person and pay him anyways.
Yes, I do think that is what should happen. But also, it depends on how good of terms he is with her. Like, if they're like not super close, I wouldn't expect a 19-year-old to offer to come mow my lawn when I'm going through some medical issues, They might not just think of it because that's not something they, think about. And like, also they might be like, they're an adult, they have money, they can hire someone to do it, they got it handled.
Yeah, I feel like if they did come over and do it for free, it would be because mom or dad gave them a little hint.
Yes.
OP replied to the top comment, I'm not taking nor am I trying to take advantage of a kid.
Yeah, you are.
He's 19, and even though 19-year-olds are still young-minded babies to me, legally they're growing, so I'm going to call him growing, not a kid. Second of all, I fail to see where in this post I said he owes me labor. You guys keep saying it, but not once did I say he owes this to me or that he has to do it.
Okay, so he's just not going to do it since he doesn't have to. I feel like that might be the best outcome here.
Somebody replied to OP, okay, so you asked a grown-ass man to mow your lawn on a Saturday in the hot-ass sun, and we're going to pay him in ice cream and sandwiches or whatever you were going to buy from the store. Still wrong. Give him money or leave him alone. And mowing is labor. It feels like you don't know what the word means. How much money would it take to get you to mow someone else's lawn?
A lot. I hate it so much. Like $200.
You're pricey.
I hate it so much. And even then I'd be like, ugh, do I have to? I guess it's worth it, but ugh.
Being family doesn't matter. However much money it would take to make you do this task you hate should show you that you know you're wrong. You're just being cheap.
Okay, so if it's like a task I hate doing, I feel like you should look up how much it would cost to have someone do it for you. And then like, I don't know, like maybe $20 an hour, not minimum wage, because this is worse. It deserves more money than minimum wage. So $20 an hour and how much it would cost to have a contractor do it for you. And somewhere in the middle, that is how much you should pay your niece or nephew to do it for you.
That's how I think of it with our nieces and nephews, because there's also an aspect of they're not going to do nearly as good of a job as a contractor would.
Yeah, so don't pay them as much as a contractor, but pay them enough that it's worth their time.
But also, she said that she knows for a fact that her nephew is good at doing the lawn.
I mean, cutting the lawn isn't that hard.
That's true.
It doesn't take a whole lot of skill once you got it down, Like, I hate doing it, and I haven't done it in about 20 years, but I could mow the lawn and do an okay job at it.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like she said he has a lawn cutting business or anything. He just probably makes very straight lines when he does his parents' house.
Yeah, his parents have been making him do it and have probably been paying him for it as part of his allowance at least, And so he's okay at it.
You're the jerk. One of the most important lessons I taught my child was to get paid for her labor. Cleaning her space and maintaining communal living standards is her responsibility to herself, but anything outside of that, I offer a fair wage. Now that she's grown, we often do unpaid favors for each other, but I would never ask her to do something I would expect to be paid for without offering fair compensation. OP replied, it's not like I was having him do the lawn and sent him on his way after that. As you can see in the post, there were plenty of things I planned to do in return for him. And I was going to go to the store to buy ice cream just for him. I was going to spend money on him.
That's not what he wants, though. He doesn't think that's fair compensation. You guys need to talk and come to an agreement about what fair compensation is. Maybe it's just taking that money you would have spent on ice cream and giving it to him. But I feel like that's not going to be quite enough money because, that's a few bucks.
Yeah, like half a gallon of ice cream is like $5.
And I feel like he's coming out and mowing your lawn. Like, driving there and mowing your lawn and driving home is going to take at least an hour. You should pay him at least $20.
Yeah, he's got to pay gas.
Yeah, I was like, this seems like not a fair trade at all. And you're just like, but I'm doing things for him. It's not enough and it's not what he wants. You just need to talk to him and come to something that you can both mutually agree on. Otherwise, he's just not the person to cut your grass for you. Find someone else or hire a real person and then be truly appalled by how much it costs and have regrets that you didn't pay your nephew to do it for cheaper.
Which is essentially Reddit's opinion too. They're very uniform in their saying, you're a jerk, a 19-year-old needs money and they need to be paid for their labor. And ice cream does not count as payment.
I mean, I really love ice cream. I'm not mowing the lawn for ice cream. I can buy my own ice cream, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you pay him, he could stop off for milkshakes on the way home.
Would I be the asshole if I stopped bringing homemade food to the office after one person keeps taking portions meant for the whole team?
Like, you mean they're taking a portion the size of what you expect the entire team to take? Because that seems like they're taking too much food.
I genuinely enjoy cooking and have a habit of making extra when I bake or prep something on weekends. A few times over the past few months, I've brought some things in to share, a tray of brownies, some cookies, once a big batch of roasted chickpeas because I made way too much. Nothing elaborate, just surplus from stuff I was already making. People seemed to appreciate it, which was nice. Became a casual thing. There's this one guy, I'll call him Derek, who works in a different part of the office but somehow always appears within about 10 minutes of anything being put in the break room. Fine, that's what the break room is for. The issue is the portion sizes. Last time I brought in a full tray of about 24 brownies. I stepped away for maybe 25 minutes and came back to find Derek had stacked literally 8 of them on a plate at his desk.
Okay, Derek, I understand that you can eat 8 brownies. We can all eat 8 brownies. It's a percentage problem. If there's 24 brownies on the plate, you need to think about how many people work in the office and be like, well, I'm allowed that percentage of these brownies, at least until everybody has had a chance to get some.
I watched him go back for a second plate.
Derek, what the hell?
I didn't say anything because it felt petty to police brownie distribution, but other people had barely gotten any. A few people mentioned it, and one coworker who I knew had been looking forward to them missed out entirely. This has happened more than once with different things. He's not doing anything technically wrong, the food is there for anyone, but the unspoken understanding of communal office food seems to be completely absent for him.
This is nitpicky of me, but I don't agree with OP's statement that he's not doing anything technically wrong. He's doing things that are technically wrong, he's just not doing anything that's legally wrong.
Yeah, we all know you're supposed to leave enough for everyone else to at least try it, right?
Yeah, I think that he is wrong on several technicalities.
I'm at the point where I either stop bringing things in or I only bring enough for my immediate team and don't put it in the general break room. Would I be the asshole for just quietly stopping the whole thing?
I mean, I guess you wouldn't be the asshole. I do feel like at some point in that post you could have tried to talk to Derek about what is appropriate behavior.
That's awkward, though.
It's awkward, but Derek is making it awkward. Somebody's got to tell Derek to calm down. Right? Like, I know none of us want to be that person that's policing the brownies. But I don't know. Kind of sounds like your manager just needs to stand next to the plate with a fly swatter.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
One!
And like, would she be the asshole for just quietly stopping bringing them? I mean, she's not obligated to bring anything into the office. So no, not the asshole. I mean, maybe your coworkers might be a little sad because everybody does love free food, but they can bring in free food then for other people.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be the asshole at all if you decided to stop doing something for free. Like you were doing this out of the kindness of your heart. You wouldn't be the asshole if you just brought it for your team either.
It's just, I feel like it's a shame to let Derek ruin it.
Yeah, it really is a shame to let one guy ruin it, and sometimes one person does ruin it for everyone. It happens sometimes. But, I don't know, there must be somebody at your office who's enough of a loudmouth to go and yell at Derek for taking 16 brownies. 16 brownies,
yeah, like
Derek.
Someone could just walk past him and be like, damn, Eric, leave some for the rest of us. And that might embarrass him into, being a little more reserved with how many he's taking.
Yeah, that's step 1 of scolding Derek is to be like, dude, how many brownies did you take? Do it teasing, but you're completely serious. And then if he continues or pushes back, be like, no, social norms. I'm going to put a little sign next to the brownies for everyone but Derek.
Top comment, you need to bring a plate and walk around to people at their desks and offer 1 to 2 to each person with a napkin. This excludes Derek. If he finds out and asks, tell him the food is for your nearby coworkers.
As hilarious and petty as that is, that's going to do so much more damage to your relationship with Derek than just telling him to take a normal portion. Like, step 1 really should be talk to the person. I know. I'm aware this is Reddit. We don't do that.
No, we do not do that. Why would we talk to people when we could just come to Reddit and complain about it?
I mean, sometimes just going to Reddit and complaining about it gets a lot off your chest.
Someone else says, just make Ziploc bags and message people that if they want it to stop by your desk. And that way you can be like, here's your little baggie of treats. Here's your little baggie of treats. And they don't get any more.
I think OP needs to get a drone that will drop brownies off at people's desks. Just like one at a time, though.
Although some people think there is a way to do this without directly talking to Derek and calling him out. Leave a note next to it that says, please take one so others can also try, or something along those lines. If it doesn't change, leave a note, then in different writing in a different color pen, write, yeah, Derek, leave some for the rest of us. Maybe it will shame him into compliance.
I do like that a lot. I really like adding it in a different font and a different pen color, being like, now there's multiple people yelling at Derek.
Although someone does point out, if you can carry 8 brownies on a plate to your desk, you have no shame. There will be no shaming of Derek. He is incapable of being shamed.
You gotta at least try. You can't just assume that Derek is immune to shame. I guess Derek has been getting away with it all this time. So, step 1 really does seem like yell at Derek.
Yeah, and if step 1 of talking to Derek doesn't work, then you move on to step 2, which is either single portion baggies that you hand out to people personally or just stop bringing things in completely.
Okay, but real quick, have you ever had a coworker that just does completely unhinged food etiquette things?
No.
Really? You've worked at like a donut shop?
Yeah, no, we were all pretty normal there.
Oh.
Maybe I was the one who was doing unhinged food etiquette things. I was like, let me take all the leftovers home.
Well, what I was trying to gracefully segue into until you're just like, no. I had a coworker that I'm just going to call him Salad Guy.
Okay.
Because anytime anyone would bring in any form of food into the office, he would walk into the break room, take a spoonful or a slice or whatever it was, put it on top of his salad, and then walk back to his desk and eat at his desk. Anything.
Like a cake? He put cake on top of his salad?
Yes.
That's weird.
Because we were at the type of office that we wouldn't just bring in like pastries and things.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is where I worked with the one coworker that did barbecue a lot. So he'd bring in some barbecue and Salad Guy would walk in, take a slice of the barbecue, put it on top of his salad, and just walk back to his desk and eat it in his salad. He did it with muffins. He did it with, I made a chickpea salad.
And he mixed the chickpea salad with his normal salad?
Yeah, it was like a chickpea salad that you put like on bread. And he just took a scoop of that and put it in his normal salad.
Huh.
Just whatever it was, he would just combine it into his salad. And it was disgusting and fascinating.
So like he would like break up the muffin and mix it into his salad and eat it muffin and lettuce together?
Yes.
I do not like this. Do not mix foods like that. That is wrong.
I don't know if he ever did it with anything that was like chocolate, but I saw him do it with a bagel. I saw him do it with a cookie. I don't know if there was a limit.
You can't put a cookie in a salad.
I saw him do it with pieces of sushi.
No! He's ruining all the good foods with disgusting lettuce.
He's enhancing his salad with the good food. He needs his daily salad.
Eat it separate.
It's healthy because it still counts as a salad this way.
Oh, I do kind of like that mindset. I can eat as much cake as I want as long as it's in a salad.
If the pizza is in a bowl, it's a salad. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that subscribe button for us.
We really appreciate your support, and it lets us know to keep making fun videos for you guys.
Am I wrong for telling my brother I'm not his emergency wallet just because I don't have kids?
Ooh, yeah, kids are expensive, so I get that your brother is short on cash, but his kids are not your responsibility. No, not the asshole. You don't need to be supporting his kids.
My brother and I are both in our 30s. He has 3 kids, I don't have any. I love my nieces and nephew, and I have helped out a lot over the years. School supplies, groceries, a car repair once, even covering part of their rent when he was between jobs. At first, it was always framed as an emergency, so I said yes because I didn't want the kids to suffer. But over time, it stopped feeling like emergencies and started feeling like a second bill I was expected to pay. The breaking point was last week. My brother asked for $900 because he was behind on daycare, and said if I didn't help, he might lose his spot. I asked why it got that bad, and he admitted he and his wife had gone on a weekend trip the month before because they needed a break.
Oh, no, you can't do that. You gotta make sure all the essentials are paid for before you go on vacation. That's bad budgeting.
Maybe OP needs a break.
Yeah. And then at that point, I feel like it's not like you're paying for your nieces and nephews' daycare. You're paying for your brother to go on vacation, and I am not funding someone else's vacation.
I got angry and said I'm not funding their bad planning anymore. He said I don't understand real responsibility because I don't have kids. Then he said my money is just sitting there, while his family actually needs it.
What? That is so entitled.
That really set me off. I told him I'm not his emergency wallet just because I made different choices. And if he wants to take trips, he can also figure out daycare. Now my parents are saying I was cruel and that the kids shouldn't be punished for their parents being stressed.
Well, then why aren't the grandparents chipping in any money? Why aren't they paying for their grandchildren's daycare then?
My brother hasn't talked to me except to send one text saying, "Must be nice to only care about yourself."
Sounds like brother only cares about himself, going on vacation and expecting you to pay for everything.
Brother is burning this bridge thoroughly, isn't he? After not giving them money once?
Oh, yeah. Like, you think if brother would be smart and be like, well, he's not paying this time. I asked for too much. And he's mad because I, didn't budget well and went on vacation. But don't burn bridges because he might still pay for things in the future. Just like, back off a little bit. Well, could I have $200 for this? If you really want to get money out of him.
Yeah, at least use good strategy if you're going to be a mooch. I feel bad because the kids didn't do anything wrong, and I know daycare is important. But I'm also tired of being guilted every time he runs short. Am I wrong for refusing to help this time?
No, I don't think you're wrong to stop funding your brother and his children. And I actually think you should have stopped a long time ago because he doesn't even appreciate it. It's become an expectation. And when something nice you're doing for someone becomes an expectation that you do it like that, it is time to quit when that happens. Things have gone too far.
Yeah, at least because it's an expectation that he's no longer grateful for.
Oh yeah, he doesn't sound like he was ever grateful, really.
And I think OP is right. The second somebody tells me, oh, I couldn't make my bills because I went on vacation for a weekend, I get it. We're all stressed.
Yeah.
I still have to make my mortgage payment, though.
I still got a plan for retirement. I'm just investing in my own future because I am also important, okay?
Top comment. You are not wrong. Your brother is an idiot thinking you would just be his wallet whenever. Even if you did have the disposable income, your brother shouldn't rely on you this much. This is crazy to ask you to pay out $900.
I am really close with my sisters, and I don't feel like I would ever ask either of them for money. Even with the intention of paying it back, which it sounds like the brother never had the intention of ever paying any of this money back. Now, my parents, yes, I would feel more comfortable asking my parents for money, but my sisters, I feel like they're also at the same place in life that I am at, and they are also, have bills to pay and stuff.
Yeah, but also I feel like you could if things got really desperate, But you don't cash in that ticket until things get desperate.
And I have explored every other option,
Yeah, because borrowing money from family, it can work out, but when it goes wrong so hard. How much do you think a cheap weekend trip costs?
I don't even know anymore. Everything's gotten so expensive.
It's a weekend trip, maybe one night in a hotel. So if they did it on a budget, it'd still be like $400 or $500, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So half of what they need. And that's assuming that they stayed to a budget, which
maybe they didn't. They needed to relax. Maybe they booked a weekend at a fancy hotel with a spa and it was expensive.
Another comment. You're not wrong. If mom and dad feel so strongly, they can step up and fund your brother's bad habits.
Now, if you really want to help brother, maybe you sound like you're good at budgeting. Sit down with him and come up with a budget for him. And be like, if you stick to this budget, you won't have to borrow money off anyone anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe brother does need some budgeting help.
It sounds like he definitely needs some budgeting help. Unfortunately, I don't know if he will accept your budgeting help because it's more fun to spend money than to save money. So he's not going to want to do that when he could just mooch off of you.
It is nice that OP is the type of sibling that when brother is in a hard spot, he can go to them and they will help out. Up to this point, they've helped out a lot. But there are limits to these things, and some people always push until they hit that limit.
And then they're mad that there's a limit.
So yeah, I don't think anyone is going to call OP wrong for not having a spare $900 in these days.
Yeah, that is a lot of money these days.
Another comment, not the asshole. You're absolutely right to draw the line somewhere. I've been the person without kids in my family too, and there's always this weird expectation that your money is somehow less important than theirs because you don't have real responsibilities. The weekend trip thing would have made me lose it completely. Like, how do you justify asking for emergency money when you literally chose to spend on vacation instead of covering your bills? That's not being stressed, that's just poor planning and expecting someone else to fix it. Your brother basically admitted he sees you as a backup bank account rather than a person with your own financial goals. The guilt trip about the kids is manipulative too, because obviously you care about them, but enabling their parents' bad decisions isn't actually helping anyone in the long run. If anything, you probably made it easier for them to be irresponsible because they know you'll bail them out. Sometimes people need to feel the actual consequences of their choices before they change. But essentially, Reddit is all on the same page here. $900 is a lot, and you are not responsible for funding your brother, especially if you can't spare it or just don't want to fund their vacation.
Am I overreacting for refusing to take my stepkids on vacation without their dad?
I mean, it depends on how close you are to these stepkids, but I don't think you're out of line for refusing to take the kids on a vacation by yourself when they're not biologically your kids.
But you're always saying stepkids are kids, they're your family.
Oh, there's going to be some qualifiers when we get further in, but for now, I don't know, maybe they're 22 and 24.
I'm 34 female and my husband is 37 male. We've been together for about 5 years and have a 3-year-old daughter together. He also has 2 daughters from a previous relationship who are 13 and 11.
Okay, so a little younger than 22 and 24.
Every year, my family takes a big vacation together. Sometimes it's Disney World or Disneyland, sometimes a beach trip, a cabin, a cruise, or even trips out of the country. Over the years, we've gone to places like Canada, Mexico, and New York. I've taken my stepkids on family trips before, but only when my husband is also there. If he can't go, I don't take them. The reason is not that I don't care about them, it's that they don't really listen to me or respect me in a parental role, and it becomes stressful in crowded places.
They've been married for 5 years?
They've been together for 5 years.
Okay, because I am leaning towards you're the asshole for not bringing an 11 and 13-year-old on a vacation, because you did. When you married this guy, they became your kids. But if they don't listen to you when you say things like, hey, don't climb that building or whatever, it can be awfully tough to take them on the vacation. It's almost like a they're going to wander off issue.
They tend to wander off in stores, ignore instructions, and say things like, "You're not my mom," when I try to correct them.
What does Dad say about this?
We get to that in a minute. A few weeks ago, one of them even wandered off in Walmart without telling me while I was shopping. I didn't know where she went, and I panicked trying to find her. She was just in the makeup aisle, but I had no idea at the time, and it really scared me. After that, my husband and their mom both talked to them about safety and listening, and they promised they would do better. But I honestly still feel uneasy about it.
Yeah, because 11 and 13 is plenty old enough to know that you should at least poke the adult and say, hey, I'm going to go look at makeup real quick.
But that's also the rebellious stage. That's like when the rebellion starts.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not going to do what my parents tell me to because I don't have to.
You're not even my real mom.
This year, my nephew is graduating, and my family picked California and Disneyland for our trip. My husband can't go because of work, so I told him I don't feel comfortable taking the girls this year. The girls are upset and saying they haven't been on a real fun trip in about 2 years. I reminded them that we did take them on a winter cabin trip this year, but they don't really count that as the same way.
Yeah, I don't know if I would count a winter cabin trip as the same level as Disney World.
It's Disneyland. But yes, I wouldn't either. Disneyland is way cooler, right?
When you're 11 and 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the perfect age to go to Disneyland.
After that, my husband and their mom talked to them again. The girls promised they would behave and stay with the group, but I still don't fully trust it. I told my husband I don't want to be responsible if something happens while we're out of state. I love them, but I also feel like I'm not their parent, and if they ignore me and something goes wrong, I would be blamed. My husband thinks I should give them another chance and let them go. Their mom understands my concerns, but also thinks I should just try. I feel like this isn't about punishment, it's about safety and knowing my limits. I don't feel confident managing them alone in a crowded place while also watching my 3-year-old. Am I overreacting for refusing to take my stepkids on vacation without their dad?
This is a tough one, isn't it?
It is.
I think I'm leaning towards not the asshole because it sounds like they just consistently do not listen to you when you try to tell them to do things, and you can't have them wandering off while you're in such a crowded area.
Also, it's in a different state. You are not their legal guardian. Like, what if something happens?
She might be their legal guardian.
They have a mom and a dad, so I don't think they wouldn't have let her adopt them, right?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really sure exactly how that works.
But anyways, it's hard to trust them when they haven't shown that they're willing to respect you at all. Looking at history, they're absolutely going to wander off. Having said that, though, I understand why Dad and Bio Mom are saying we want to give them a second chance, because it is a cool trip, and maybe they will behave this time after they've gotten talked to. But I don't know. I think I'm still leaning towards not the asshole.
Top comment. If they still haven't demonstrated that they can listen and respect your parental role, then stick to your guns. Hubby, his ex, and the kids saying, this time will be different, because they want a free trip to Disneyland and will leave you as soon as they get through the park gates. Isn't worth the paper it's printed on. Not overreacting, tell them they can come on the next trip if they can show a consistent pattern of respecting your role when they are with you alone. This is simply a consequence of their existing behavior, not a punishment. You are happy to take them if you can trust them to mind the rules. They have not earned that trust back yet.
Yeah, it is really on them, isn't it? Like, they put themselves in this boat.
Yeah, I feel like they need to prove that they can be trustworthy and mind their manners and stay with you in a park before you will trust them and bring them to a park.
And it does set a bit of a bad precedent where, like, you can absolutely ignore your stepmom and she'll still take you to Disneyland. I think OP's not the asshole here.
But I do feel like the kids are going to hold a grudge against her if she doesn't take them. And it really is their own fault, but like they're 11 and 13. They're not going to see it that way.
I mean, her kid is 3. She does have the option of also not going.
But it's like a big family trip with her whole family. Do you want to miss out on that just because your stepkids are brats and can't listen to you?
I don't know. Because the goal is to teach the stepkids, a lesson that your behavior has consequences. If you also didn't go, though, you might not get as much of a grudge from them. I mean, you're not obligated to also skip the vacation. It is a good chance to see your family and let them see your 3-year-old. But I just keep imagining OP coming back from vacation with, like, Mickey ears on. And
we had a great time. Too bad you guys missed it.
Yeah, like making them watch a slideshow of her on all the rides and things. I met every princess.
Another comment. Not overreacting. It's not a punishment. It's just basic logistics. They'll say anything to go on the trip. But since they've never actually listened or demonstrated a capacity for good behavior with you, you obviously can't trust that. If a trip to Walmart can result in wandering off, Disney is absolutely a no. Tell them that you appreciate they are willing to adjust, and when you see more of that, you will consider taking them on future trips. And remind them that there will probably be a trip next year with you and their dad that they will be attending. Also, why can't their mom take them on a little girl's getaway instead of giving you empty reassurances and responsibilities?
I agree with a lot of that comment. I do think Dad needs to be the one to tell them no. Because stepmom, it just sounds like she does not have the authority to not come across as just being a mean stepmom.
Someone else kind of agrees. Sorry, but why is your husband and his ex telling these kids you'll take them if they promise to behave when you already said no?
Sorry, husband and ex didn't tell the kids that, did they? I thought they told OP that.
My husband and their mom talked to them again, and the girls promised they would behave and stay with the group. So they did talk to the girls about it.
Yeah, I don't know if that sentence is enough for me to think that they gave the girls permission to go. It makes it sound to me like they talked to the kids and the kids said, no, we'll promise. And then they went and talked to OP after. I don't know. Dad and ex should be on the same page with you, though. There's 3 people taking care of these kids. You gotta do a little bit of teamwork. And also, OP has known these kids for 5 years. I know she wasn't the stepmom for all 5 of those years, but there's been a lot of time to set a precedent here.
Someone else agrees with that. You're bringing up all the points in the comments.
I'm bringing up all the comments that you even had saved and ready to read.
They haven't listened to you in 5 years, but Disneyland comes up and now they're suddenly willing to listen? Not overreacting. Why are mom and dad just now getting serious about this, promising it will happen this time? Dad can take them when he has time off.
Yeah, you know what? If it's so important to Dad and Bio Mom that they get to go on this trip, maybe one of them should go and chaperone them.
Yeah, but it's a little awkward going on like this trip with OP's family because, well, Dad is busy with work, so he can't go. So it'd be the ex-wife going with her kids and the new wife's family. That could be awkward. I think they need to go on a separate trip.
I mean, yeah, it would be awkward, but she seems to have a lot of input on this matter.
Well, they are her kids.
They are, but it is OP's family vacation.
So overall, Reddit says, not overreacting. You don't trust these girls to behave, and you shouldn't take them on vacation until they can prove that they can be trusted.
This next one's from R, the 10th Dentist. Are you familiar with that sub?
No, I am not.
It's a subreddit for sharing unpopular opinions.
Oh, like 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this toothpaste, and it's the one dentist that doesn't?
Correct.
Okay.
I hate when people provide unnecessary backstory to strangers.
I mean, I kind of get that. I don't know you. I don't need your whole life story, please.
I genuinely cannot stand when complete strangers give me deeply unnecessary personal context. Like when I delivered for Domino's and I'd call someone saying, "Hey, I'm outside with your order," and they'd go, "Oh, okay, my husband will be downstairs in a second." Why are you telling this like I know the lore? Just say, "Someone will be down."
Okay, I think he's being a little sensitive here. I don't know. I feel like it's normal to say my husband will be down to get it. It just lets you know that even though you are talking to a woman right now, a man will be down in a few minutes to get it. Don't be surprised when it's not a woman. And be like, no, I'm not giving you your pizza. You're not who ordered it. It was a woman.
That is the exact sentence I would use if you were going to pick up the pizza. I'd be like, yeah, my wife's just coming down now.
I thought he was going to be talking about strangers like trauma dumping on him. This is one little sentence. It's not taking that much time out of your day, and it's not that much unnecessary information.
So tonight, I texted an event organizer and apologized for messaging so early because I work overnights and forgot normal people are asleep. Their response? No worries. I was already up because Glenn leaves for work so early. Who is Glenn?
Okay, you're mad that people are giving you unnecessary information, and you gave them unnecessary information by being like, well, I work nights and I forgot what time normal people work. You know, nobody cares.
Why do humans do this constantly? I swear people instinctively provide side character expositions to strangers for absolutely no reason. Your coworker Steve, your husband Mike, your cousin Jen, your dog having surgery, your nephew's soccer practice. I do not know these people. We just met 14 seconds ago. Am I the only one who notices this?
So it's mostly when you mention people he doesn't know that he gets upset about, but it's okay for him to mention his job, which you know nothing about, to other people, but just don't mention people he doesn't know. This is mostly what he seems upset about.
He has an edit because everybody in the comments called him out on that point.
Okay.
Edit. Apparently I explained this terribly because people think I'm being hypocritical for mentioning I work overnights.
You are.
There's a difference between context that explains your own behavior in the interaction versus randomly introducing unrelated people and details to a stranger. I work overnight, so I forgot it was early explains why I texted at an odd hour. My husband Glenn leaves early for work does not explain anything to me because I do not know Glenn.
But it lets you know that OP is already up and she's not offended or angry that you called so early.
He is not a character previously established in the plot. That's the phenomena I'm talking about. The weird instinct humans have to provide bonus lore to complete strangers.
She could have just said, my husband is already up because he goes to work early and I'm up, so I don't mind. But apparently that would have still angered him because he got mad at the pizza lady being like, my husband will be down to, pick it up.
Yeah, how do you explain that you don't mind that OP texted so early because you were already up?
Just say, it's okay, I was already up. That's all he wants.
I guess so.
No mention of other people. As little detail as possible.
It just feels a little curt to say it like that.
Yeah.
Just saying like, I was already up. I don't know. I would be worried that somebody could take that the wrong way.
I just feel like OP does not know how to human. And like sometimes I do not know how to human because I am autistic. But I have picked up a lot of little, tidbits over the years. And I follow the rules. You got to do the small talk to fit in with society, even if it's terrible. You just got to do it. He just needs to accept that this is part of the human experience, even if he hates it.
Because I'm like you, I also thought at the beginning that this was going to be people just trauma dumping on him. Like when you're going through the checkout line and the cashier just will not stop talking about how sick their dog is.
Or my mom just died and everything is terrible. And you're like,
that does suck.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that sucks. It does legitimately suck. I can't do anything for you, and you're honestly making my day worse.
You're making me very uncomfortable. I do not like it.
We don't have this level of relationship, cashier person. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I feel bad.
Yeah, I do not like those types of interactions, and that's what I thought he was going to be complaining about. But the ones he's complaining about seem very normal and very surface level. Like, this is like the very minor information that they're giving you. It's just too much for him, though.
Top comment. Your first example doesn't really have unnecessary backstory. If she said, my husband's coming down to get it because I'm stuck on the toilet, then yeah, okay. But she literally used one extra word than she would have if she'd told you it was someone.
Yeah, I don't know why he's so... Oh, now I gotta remember that this guy is this lady's husband. No, you don't. You don't need to remember it. But yeah, telling someone I'm not coming down because I'm stuck on the toilet, that is too much information, because now I'm picturing someone stuck on the toilet and I don't want to think about that. Please keep that to yourself.
Yeah, that would be adding too much context. OP has just such a low bar for extra context. Another comment, but it's okay for you to give extra details about your work schedule. Sounds a bit hypocritical.
Yeah, no one cares about your work schedule. They care about your work schedule even less than you care about Glenn. Who the heck is Glenn?
Not only your work schedule, but your forgetfulness and sleep pattern. By your own standards, they are oversharing. It does seem like, just by OP standards, the correct response in that scenario was just not explain the text at all.
Sorry I texted too early.
No, don't even do that.
No.
Just text, and they'll get it when they get it. I don't know. He straight up called them side characters. Like, dude, you are the side character in these other people's lives, as difficult as that may be to comprehend.
That is also a good point. You are just the pizza guy delivering the pizza, not the main character. It sounds like OP wants all of his interactions with other humans to be as concise as possible. And I struggle with that a little bit too. I want things to be concise, but I also want as much detail as I need. So I'm always struggling between how much detail to give people and how concise to make it, because I don't want to bother them by talking too long. But I also want to share all the important information. And it is a struggle to balance those. This is why I rehearse conversations in my head.
Yeah, you want to make sure they have everything. But you got to get it right in one try. You can't just expect them to ask a question if they need more info.
No, because sometimes they don't ask the pertinent questions, and then you walk out of the conversation, you're like, I didn't tell them this very important thing. I forgot about it, and it is very important to what we were talking about, but they didn't think to mention it, and I forgot about it. So you got to plan it ahead. Make sure every single important piece of information is translated and transferred, but do it as concisely as possible so you're not annoying them.
I'm not going to lie, that's fairly normal. I feel like you just explained it very thoroughly, but it's fairly normal to just want to make sure they get all the same information, especially in like a work environment. Mm-hmm. Like at that point, you're being paid to give them the information efficiently.
Yes.
But I don't think any of your coworkers would get mad if during that conversation you said, oh, my husband Josh just texted, and then went back to the conversation.
No, I guess they wouldn't really. But I'm also just like, I feel like he wants every single interaction to be as concise as possible. And that is not how, that is how it should be, like, professionally, I guess, like talking with your coworkers, maybe like about business. But like talking with normal people, no, there needs to be a little bit of small talk too.
Somebody else commented, I've got a lot to say on this subject once my incredibly beautiful wife lets me finish my monthly bill paying and I'm showered for the day. I'll get back to you on my detailed thoughts soon unless the sun comes out and I'm busy surfing.
Too much information, Josh. He could have posted nothing, and that would have been better.
Another comment. I mean, saying that someone will be there to collect the pizza is weirdly mysterious. Why are you hiding who that is, LOL? If someone said that to me, I'd assume it would be either someone super random or a convicted criminal that's hiding in their house.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's that weird either to be like, someone will be down to grab that in a minute. Neither of these are weird things to say. But he just really, really prefers that you use one of them over the other.
Someone will be down to collect the merchandise.
Okay, well, when you call it merchandise instead of pizza, that does make it sound super mysterious and everything. Just call it pizza. This isn't a drug deal going down.
Somebody else commented, "This really sounds like you want more backstory. Who is Glenn?" Well, he started life as a bagger at the local Kroger, but worked his way up, then transferred those skills, and now he's a warehouse manager. Do you want the conversation to be the human being of male description and pale complexion?
No, he wants no mention at all of Glenn or any other human. They are not pertinent to this conversation.
I feel like that person does have a point, though. The fact that he's so mad that he doesn't know who Glenn is makes me think that now who is this Glenn guy? He sounds interesting. I need some lore on this Glenn guy.
Can he not just assume that Glenn is the person he texted his husband? Can he not make logical leaps like that?
Yeah, but like, you can't just introduce a side character like that with no details other than their name being Glenn. How am I supposed to properly ship Glenn with Organizer Lady if I know nothing about them? But yeah, even though this is a subreddit for sharing unpopular opinions, I don't think I found a single comment of anyone agreeing with OP.
Am I the asshole for selling something I got for free?
I mean, I guess not. We have scrappers come down our road every single trash day to look for metal. I don't consider them assholes. They're just making a buck.
A few weeks back, I, 44 male, won a car in one of those supermarket giveaways. There are various reasons that I don't want to keep it. I spend a significant portion of the year traveling between two continents. I don't have a garage to keep it in when I'm in my home country. And, perhaps most importantly, the car has a manual transmission and I'm a bad enough driver on an automatic.
I'm surprised the supermarket didn't offer OP like a cash equivalent prize. A lot of them do that.
I could, however, use a couple of €1,000 extra, so I decided to sell it. Friends of mine, a married couple I will call Laura, 36 female, and Patrick, 38 male, are in the market for a new car, so I turned to them first. The ticket price of the car is 20k euros. I need to pay taxes on the winnings of some 4k, so I offered it to them for 14,000. They save 6,000, which means they won't need to take out a partial loan as they were planning, and I end up with 10k. Everyone wins. Laura and Patrick very happily accepted, and we should have all the paperwork done out next week.
Honestly, that seems like a pretty fair deal. You're cutting your friends a discount on a car that they need, and you're getting a little bit of cash because you did win a prize.
I was hanging out with Laura and Patrick last weekend signing the paperwork. At one point, another friend of theirs, let's call him Jake, 34 male, showed up. I don't talk to him. Why is a long story. One of the reasons is that he's a know-it-all asshole who is just incapable of keeping out of other people's business. And sure enough, when Jake found out what was going on, he felt the need to offer his opinion, which amounted to accusing me of taking advantage of Laura and Patrick, and arguing that if I were a real friend, I would just give them the car.
Okay, Jake, there's a difference between being a real friend and being a $20,000 real friend.
Laura, who doesn't like Jake either, but is the sweetest person ever, so she doesn't let it show.
Why the hell is Jake even there?
Maybe Patrick likes him.
Maybe.
Laura politely shut him down, and he thankfully left shortly after that. Laura then apologized and told me that she thought what Jake had said was stupid, but that, surprisingly to both of us, some other friends of hers think the same. And then yesterday, I met up with Alex, 39 male, a mutual friend of mine and Laura's. Laura, him, and me worked in the same office for a couple of years, and while I left for greener pastures a long time ago, they, and some other mutual friends, still work there. Alex told me, with some amusement, that the entire thing with the car has been a subject of much gossip at the office. According to what he told me, some people are basically taking Jake's side and calling what I did exploitative, and taking advantage of Laura's situation, since I'm charging them money for something that cost me nothing. So Reddit, am I the asshole for selling something I got for free?
It's not even like you're taking advantage of Laura's situation. It sounds like Laura can afford a car. She just would have had to take out a small loan from the bank. We all have to take out small loans from the bank when we buy cars. And how altruistic are all of these people that are like, you should just give away a $20,000 car to your friends?
Would they give away a $20,000 car to their friends? I don't think so. But maybe they would.
I mean, how much of their money did they pitch in towards Laura and Patrick's new car? It sounds like, according to them, Laura and Patrick need help. about this new car. So they should make a GoFundMe or something.
I don't know if it's so much that, but you just have a car laying around that you're not going to use. Just give it to him.
I bet all of these assholes have like $1,000 laying around somewhere that they could pool together for Laura and Patrick.
But they don't need $1,000. They need a car.
Yeah, and they're spending $14,000 on that car because OP's such an asshole. You can't fix OP, so you might as well help out Laura and Patrick.
Top comment, NTA, this is an absolutely bizarre take. It's nobody's business whether you won the car, bought it, or inherited it. It was yours to keep or sell.
Yeah, if OP was just upgrading their car and they bought a new car, are all of these people expecting them to give away the old car instead of selling it?
No, but this one doesn't count because he got it for free. You're not understanding, Josh.
It's just so wild to me.
He's got it for free. He doesn't need it. It's just sitting there. He should give it to someone in need.
I mean, I'm all for trying to earn some good karma. I don't need that much good karma. I need $10,000.
Another comment, NTA, you could have sold it to strangers for a higher amount. Instead, you sold it to friends at basically half the cost. So you're losing money in this transaction. I think that what you're doing is great. All the people who say you should give it away for free are acting like that's what they would do. But in reality, they would never have done it. They're acting like the holy person because they're not in the situation. I guarantee if they were, they would have sold it to their friend for full price or even higher. Don't think about what they say, you're good. Someone replied, it's easy to be generous with other people's money, time, or possessions.
It really is easy to be generous with other people's stuff. I think that OP was honestly very generous for cutting them a discount like that. Like that was a $6,000 discount?
For them, yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of money to me.
Yeah, because he could have sold it to just like a dealership for much more.
Yeah, but he knew he had some friends that needed a new car and he cut him a discount. Honestly, OP sounds like a great friend.
Not as great as Jake would be, though. Jake would just give them the car.
Jake has that option, okay? Jake can go take out a small loan and buy the car. I don't care if OP got it for free and Jake would have to get it for $20K. Maybe Jake just needs to be a good example for OP.
I think you should be asking Jake, hey, what are you going to inherit when your grandparents die? Is it something I want? Something I need? You going to give it to me, Jake? You're getting it for free.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if that quite works because Jake probably wants that stuff, whereas OP doesn't want this. But also, I don't know, Jake's being an annoying butt, so yeah, give him weird arguments. I bet that would... Jake sounds like the type of person that if you gave him an argument that doesn't make sense, he would have like an aneurysm.
Another comment, NTA, you're already being more than generous in offering a steep discount over market value for the car in the first place. What Jake, and those who agree with him, are really saying is, I wish OP had given that car to me. Sounds like Jake wants a free car.
Yeah, you know, they might be the type of people that if you had just given Laura and Patrick a car, they're like, there are people that needed a car more than Laura and Patrick. You're not allowed to help anybody unless you help exactly the person who needs it the most by their definition. Otherwise, you're not making the world a better place like they want. You're just rubbing it in the face of that one person who's got it the worst. Sorry, I feel something about the way I'm talking about this one makes me feel like I'm grandstanding. I don't think I am. It's just I'm in that mindset because everybody's being so fart sniffing over this.
Fart sniffing, really?
What would you define it as?
I don't know, but you were complaining at me for saying poop the other day, and you're like, you're going to mess up our algorithm because people don't like that.
Yeah, but it's funny when I do it, Kristie.
And this final comment seems to sum up what Reddit thinks pretty well. NTA, I love my friends, but not enough to just give them $14,000.
Yeah, I wish I had enough spare cash in my bank account that I could afford to just give my friends that much money. But I can't. Most people can't right now. Am I the asshole for telling my niece I won't drive 20 hours just to pick her up?
Whoa, 20 hours is a really long drive. I'm not driving that long either. I don't think I can drive that long. I would fall asleep.
Man, that title makes me sound like the asshole. Using a throwaway so this doesn't come back on me. I, 38 female, have had custody of 2 out of my 3 nieces, 17 and 21, for the past 5 years. I have the oldest 2, and the youngest, 14 female, still lives with my sister, 42 female, and brother-in-law, 43 male.
What, the two oldest kids weren't good enough, so the parents threw them away? The third daughter is always the best daughter, just so you know.
The two oldest were kicked out 5 years ago because they complained too much and did what normal sisters do. They fought. I got a call asking if I would take them, and here we are today. I have done and paid for everything. School clothes, allowance, gas money, school supplies, prom dresses, graduation dresses, and anything else you can think of.
Okay, I know I was joking about throw away the two oldest ones because the third daughter is always the best, but those parents are terrible. You can't just throw away your daughters because they fight with each other. That's not right.
Mom and Dad didn't even separate them.
No, take the two fighting ones and let them go fight somewhere else.
My 21-year-old niece moved out 2 years ago and is living on her own estate away, clear across the country from her parents. My sister is coming up in May for the 17-year-old's graduation. My sister wants to take the 17-year-old to the 21-year-old's house after she graduates so that the three sisters can all be together for the first time in 2 years. The last time they were together was when I paid to have the youngest flown to my house during Christmas before the oldest moved out. I have paid for nearly every vacation for the girls, flown them to see their parents and sister, paid for gas and food to drive to where their parents live, put us up in hotels. Literally anything you can think of has come out of my bank account. The dilemma is my sister thinks I should take the weekend off and pick up my 17-year-old niece from her sister's house. That is a 10-hour car ride one way, so 20 to get there and back home. There is no local airport to just have her fly home. I said no. Now I'm the asshole. My sister told me I was being unreasonable. My youngest niece is upset that I won't do it. The 17-year-old feels like I could make time. What is worse is, I already planned a trip next month for the 17-year-old and I to travel to where her parents live to spend a week there with them. But I'm the asshole because I won't do this last-minute 20-hour car ride for the girls to all be together. I suggested my sister just bring her back here, and I was met with every excuse imaginable. She's too broke, she doesn't have the extra time off work, and so on. Am I the asshole, or am I fair in saying no this one time?
I mean, if the mom is saying no, I think you're fair in saying no. I mean, none of these girls are supposed to be your responsibility, and you've already taken on two of them. I feel like that is like, you are a very good aunt. But a 20-hour car ride, that is so much. Is there not a way you can, like, meet in the middle with the mom or something and swap the kid off? Like, that way it's only 5 hours there and 5 hours back for both of you? That seems more reasonable. I just feel like there's got to be some solution that doesn't involve you taking a whole weekend off to drive 20 hours.
Yeah, that is a heck of a commute, isn't it?
It's so long. I could not drive that long in one weekend by myself.
It's possible that the 17-year-old could help drive on the way back. But still, that is 10 hours one way, and it sounds like you're giving up your whole weekend to chauffeur your niece around.
And, like, it seems extra unnecessary since you've already arranged for all three sisters to be together in 1 month. And they're trying to guilt you about, well, the three sisters want to be together. Can't you drive 20 hours? You're like, no, I've arranged for it in 1 month. I've done my duty.
Well, I don't think 21-year-old will be there for that.
Oh, okay.
But still, there are a lot of other solutions to this plan, like 21-year-old could drive to your house.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way to do this. Also, if mom is so concerned about all three sisters being together, maybe she shouldn't have kicked out the oldest too.
Well, be together once every 2 years or so. That's about mom's tolerance level. I don't think either of us are going to be sugarcoating the way we talk about mom and dad during this story.
Oh no, they're terrible. You can't just throw away your kids and hand them off to your siblings to take care of. I mean, not unless there's a really good reason. And they're doing normal teenagery things and fighting with each other is not a good reason.
Sounds like OP handled them just fine.
Yeah. Like, I really want to know more on that story because it doesn't sound, from what we know and how OP handled them, they don't sound like they were super difficult teenagers. So why did the parents try and pawn them off on OP? I just don't understand. Maybe I just don't understand because I cannot fathom parents that are that terrible. I don't know.
Well, she does reply to a few questions in the comments to give more information about the situation.
Okay.
But let's just jump into comments and do top one first. Top comment, low-key, your sister is a terrible parent and a terrible sibling.
I don't think it's low-key. I think it's high-key. She is high-key a terrible, terrible person.
She abandoned her older kids, let you pay for literally everything from prom dresses to flights, and now she is trying to make you look like the bad guy because you won't drive 10 hours one way on a random weekend. It is wild how entitled people get when you help them out too much. It sucks that the 17-year-old is being influenced by her, but hopefully she realizes when she is older how much you actually did for her compared to her actual mom.
Yeah, because 17-year-old would have been 12 when she went to go live with her aunt.
That is so young. I know it's a difficult age, but 12 is awfully young to be kicking them out.
It really is.
Somebody else commented, your sister is an incredibly entitled asshole, expecting you to parent her children and foot the bill for everything. OP replied, the original agreement was they would help financially. I haven't seen a dime. I also didn't expect to see a dime.
Well, at least she went into this with eyes open and knowing what kind of sister she had.
Another comment, not the asshole. Sister wants all three together. Sister can make it happen. They should have been together all along. Why doesn't the oldest niece travel to the 17-year-old's graduation so they can all be together? How is any of this your responsibility? Seems like you're being taken for granted here, and I'm not feeling the gratitude for what you've done. I'd be pulling back on a lot of it now, starting with this 20-hour drive. OP replied, the oldest niece just had her first kid a couple months back. She was never going to be here for the graduation. 17-year-old only gets 4 tickets for graduation. My husband and I get 2. My sister and youngest niece get the other 2. Do some high schools have tickets for their graduation?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
There's limited space.
I don't think mine had any attendance limits.
Well, you went to a very small high school.
It wasn't that small. I had like 100 people in my graduating class.
I had like almost 600 in my graduating class. And there was no attendance restrictions at my graduation because I graduated at the Palace, which is where the Detroit Pistons play basketball. It's a very big venue.
That is wild to me as a country boy because we had our graduation ceremony in the high school gym.
Nope, the school district just rented out the Palace for a whole day, and all 4 high schools in the school district had their graduation ceremonies one after the other.
Not the asshole. Title doesn't make you sound like an asshole. Your reasonableness levels are off and being manipulated. In no way are you the asshole here, at any point. Frankly, your inability to see that is probably making you unnecessarily fret and fester about the monetary expenses. Your sister was wrong to kick out her kids and expect you or society to parent them. Your sister is wrong to think it's your responsibility to do this trip. Your sister is just wrong. Hell, what does 21-year-old think of this plan to use her sister as a Trojan horse to force interaction with her mom and your sister? How is that relationship? This smells of manipulation where she gets to bring her kids together, passively or affirmatively abuse and be toxic to them, knowing she can peace out and leave them at any time and you will once again save the day. OP replied, I could go on for days about how the girls feel about their parents without even touching this. The 17-year-old has her mom saved in her phone as narcissist. The 21-year-old just wants to see her youngest sister. The 17-year-old and I were just there last month.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get wanting to see your sister. I just feel like making the aunt be the one to shoulder the responsibility for making it happen is not the right move here.
Somebody else suggested that maybe a bus or a train exists.
Ooh, that is a good option. See if that happens.
Yeah, and OP actually does admit, I didn't think about other transport. I'll look into that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have thought of that either.
Yeah, I constantly forget that Greyhound is a thing.
Probably because I don't want to ride on a bus. That would not be my first option of transportation.
I don't know, it's not the worst way to go long distance. Like, the long distance buses are generally a lot nicer than, like, the city bus. And we did take a train out to Chicago a few years back, and that was honestly fine.
Yeah, that was fine.
I just forget about them. And one last comment. You're the asshole, but not for refusing to drive, but for taking in the kids without getting child support. You should have reported your sister to CPS for kicking her children out. OP replied, actually, I did report them to CPS. It was across multiple states, and we were essentially told, well, you have custody now, so it's fine. Nothing came of it.
Yeah, that does really suck. But I mean, it seems really good for the kids that they have such an awesome aunt that was willing to step up for them.
Yeah, she's definitely not the asshole. She really did step up and give 2 of her nieces what sounds like a good home. Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole for not wanting to drive for 20 hours. There's so few people that I would be willing to drive 20 hours for. Take an Uber.
A 20-hour Uber would be so expensive.
It definitely would be.
Am I the asshole for making my coworker miss his proposal because I wouldn't cover his shift?
Did your coworker plan out everything about the proposal except for the part where he needed to take off work? That just doesn't seem like good planning.
I, 29 female, work at a restaurant with this guy. We can call him Mark. A few weeks ago, he told everyone he was planning to propose to his girlfriend during the concert they were going to, and he kept hyping it up nonstop. The problem is that he scheduled himself to work that same night and apparently forgot to request it off.
He scheduled himself?
A few days beforehand, he started begging people to switch with him. Nobody wanted to because it was a Saturday night shift. He eventually asked me because I technically wasn't scheduled that day. I had a pretty full week, personal stuff, and I didn't really feel like it, so I told him I can't cover it. He kept asking and was asking me what plans I have. If you're wondering why he didn't ask the others, one of them was flying and the other one had something specific, I don't remember. So Mark had to work. Apparently, he tried to rush to the concert after his shift, but by the time he got there, the moment he planned was ruined because the band had already played their big final song. He ended up proposing afterward in the parking lot, and according to him, it wasn't special anymore.
Mark, you can't propose if you even miss one song, man. It sounds like he wanted to propose during the big final song.
Well, I don't know about that, but he at least wanted to propose while the band was playing. And they're already done. They're off the stage.
He missed the entire concert then.
Yeah.
Just tuck the ring back in your pocket and do it later. You gotta at least try to make the night special. Don't start it off by being an hour late for a concert.
And then proposing in the parking lot?
That's awful, Mark. Come on.
After, he was a little passive-aggressive to me and complained a little that I ruined it. But I feel like forgetting to request time off for your own proposal is not my responsibility. Am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole. Mark, Mark, you shot yourself right in the foot. And then you just decided to go through with it anyways. Unless you, talked it out with your girlfriend and you're like, hey, I'm gonna propose during this concert. I don't know why she would ever suspect that you tucked the ring back in your pocket and just decided I'll do it later. When I remember to take the day off of work. How do you forget to take that day off of work? For one, it's the day you're proposing, and for two, it's a concert. Everybody remembers to take the concert off of work.
Right? Like you buy your concert tickets and you request that time off work at the same time. Maybe before.
Yeah, you at least write it on your own personal calendar or something. Type it into your phone.
Top comment. I can't believe he proposed in the parking lot after the concert. Dude, just plan something else a different day.
Is there a less romantic location than the parking lot after a concert?
I feel like any parking lot is a no-no for proposals.
Yeah, but a parking lot after a concert is especially bad because everybody is trying to cram out that exit. And they're all honking and angry.
Yeah, if she says no, you're stuck there for another half hour at least, and it is super awkward.
You're right. If she says no because this is a terrible spot to propose and you need to try again later, it's going to be an awkward ride. Do we know if she said yes or no?
We do not know.
That's very disappointing.
We just know that Mark thinks it wasn't special anymore because he had to do it in the parking lot.
Mark is correct. It was not special anymore. Mark might as well have just proposed in a Denny's.
NTA, a parking lot proposal perfectly matches the amount of planning he put into requesting the night off.
Yeah, did Mark have any plans outside of just concert and propose during a big song? Was there a dinner beforehand? I mean, he missed that too, if there was.
We do not get any more information on his plans, but,
they don't sound
super romantic.
Or thought out.
No. But he spent weeks hyping them up at work and being like, I'm going to propose and it's going to be awesome.
I mean, maybe Mark would have really nailed it if he would have stuck that landing, but he did not stick the landing, and it is not your fault that he didn't stick the landing.
Someone in the comments says, my husband proposed to me in a parking garage. Did I say husband? I meant ex-husband. That was a very big red flag I ignored, and I can confirm it matched his efforts in the marriage.
Yeah, come on, guys. You gotta be like me and just propose deep in the woods.
It wasn't deep in the woods. We were on a nature trail.
It's funnier if I call it deep in the woods, though.
But in either case, either of those would have been perfect for me. Deep in the woods or on a nature trail.
Not parking lot?
No, not the parking lot. I'm glad you proposed before we got back to the parking lot at the trailhead.
So I do think that OP is not the asshole here. How little do you think OP likes Mark that she wouldn't take this shift to help him propose?
Oh, she does not like him.
No, because I'm thinking about it a little bit, and I'm like, Mark is a dumbass for not taking that day off. But if one of my coworkers was like, I really screwed up, can we please switch shifts? I really need this one. I owe you a favor, right? Like, I probably would, because it sounds like OP didn't have anything to do. But still, it's entirely on Mark that this went bad.
Someone kind of agrees with you. You didn't have to, but it would have been nice. I can't imagine doing that to my colleagues if I were free to help them for something important, because mistakes happen. Is Mark an asshole and that's why you didn't care to help him?
I have to assume that he is, because I know that Saturday shifts are hectic, but you usually get more tips, so it's worth it to a certain extent. But I also appreciate my day off. Like, I am protective of my day off.
NTA, he decided to propose in the parking lot, not you. He forgot to ask for the time off for the concert, not you. He decided his job was more important than getting to the concert on time, not you. I'm not surprised that he's trying to blame you, but that's because he doesn't want to take responsibility for his own failure to plan.
Yeah, I think at one point in our lives, we've all had to work with a Mark. Just great big plans, super excited about them, never sticks the landing.
But overall, Reddit is mostly NTA, but a few people are kind of like, everyone sucks here. You could be a little bit more empathetic. But also, like, kind of, this is Mark's own fault.
Yeah, I think everybody is going to acknowledge this is entirely Mark's fault. OP maybe could have had a little more empathy, but maybe Mark is just awful in day-to-day life. We don't know.
And he didn't have to propose in the parking lot. I feel like Mark's the one who ruined his proposal. He should have just replanned it.
Oh, Mark is definitely the asshole for proposing in the parking lot. At least put a little effort into it, my dude.
All right, that's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.